Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Echelon Cycling Podcast, where we discuss what's been happening in the week. Well, this week is just going to be about the Vuelta and look ahead what's happening next week. But yeah, as always, I'm joined by Patrick Blake and Mr. Crow himself, Ewan Wilson. Sepp Kuss has just won the Vuelta Espana. Jumbo Visma doing a 1-2-3. It hasn't been done since 1966. Yeah, what did you guys make of the last week of racing? We have plenty of things to discuss as well, reacting to our predictions, which is going to be excruciating, but yeah.
Honestly, this last week, despite the fact that Jumbo Visma sort of had it wrapped up, it was interesting in its own way, just because Jumbo seemed to have this implosion effect going on where nobody could really see or decide what was going on, which was interesting in its own way, even if the Jumbo Visma victory was sort of tied up. Some good breakaways as well going on. Wout Poels won a stage, Remco messed up. People were talking about him messing around with his bike computer or whatever it is. I'm not sure if they use Wahoo or Garmin or whatever, but yeah, it was interesting actually. And yeah, like you say, Sepp winning the People's Champion, I think a lot of people were happy about that. Some people saying that maybe Jumbo Visma caved into the pressure of like the external kind of public, like, GC Kuss thing going on, but we'll probably talk about that in a bit. But yeah, good week overall.
We've never quite seen a sort of a final week like that where we have like infighting, but within a team for who should win the race, and then also this sense of like wanting Kuss to win, despite the fact he might not have even been the strongest rider. It definitely made for interesting racing, and as well in the breakaways, Remco Evenepoel just lit things up. Remco Evenepoel is such a phenomenon in his own right, so seeing him get a couple of breakaway wins and that Mountains jersey, sewing that one up this week was definitely fascinating to watch.
Well, we might as well. We'll go into some things, but I'll start with that because in the recap that Patrick and I did, there were so many comments about this of the Angliru stage, and the debate has still not been settled on a lot of the recaps. So we might as well go there, and that leads into what you said as well, Ewan. Was he the strongest rider? Was it right? What do you guys think? Do you think it was right that they dropped the leader's jersey of their teammate when there was no threat? And I think you can just hear what my position is on this.
Yeah, I remember one of the comments which you sent a screenshot to me of, Scott. Somebody said we were being too PC about it, or like not being brutal enough. So you know what? Maybe you'll get the unfiltered version today. Personally, I think that there was just no reason, to be honest with you. I don't think that anyone was really threatening Jumbo Visma, and dropping Sepp was kind of selfish, to be honest with you, of Roglic and Jonas. I know people are fans of them, but yeah, I think that it showed really the true colours of Jonas and Roglic. I know that people are fans of them, but it just kind of shows that when push came to shove, they were really willing to sort of sacrifice somebody else's success for their own. And I don't know, it puts a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth as somebody who has been a fan of these riders for lots of races, to see that maybe they're not. I mean, I'm especially kind of for Roglic, like Jonas. I was a bit like, he attacked on the Tourmalet, then he got another minute on that stage, and it's just kind of like, I wish they kind of hadn't, because it's just, yeah, like I said, it's put a bit of a sour taste in my mouth, because it just makes me feel like they're not the like big champions. They were kind of, selfless person that I thought they were, because otherwise they would have just been all in on Sepp. But instead, clearly something happened after the Tourmalet where Jumbo went, no, that's not happening anymore. But I feel like Jumbo should have been more on it, and they should have said, like, no, we're not doing this, because this is just ridiculous how we're just doing things unnecessarily. I mean, it was entertaining in its own way, but I don't think that it was required, and I think Jumbo should have shut it down and been behind Sepp earlier on, before like the Tourmalet or the Angler or whatever. They should have been on that. So yeah, there you go. That's my unfiltered version of it for the person who wanted the unfiltered version.
To some extent, I'm thankful it happened, because
Good point. Good point.
It made for an interesting narrative, because was it stage 18 where they just like rode over the line? That was, and like rode in formation. That was a snooze fest. Angliru and all the drama, it made it interesting, and like all the pull quotes that were coming out about Roglic saying, "Oh yeah, I've got my own opinions about this." People were digging up likes on the account of Roglic's wife on Instagram to like stir up what she was possibly thinking. It was fascinating, at least. Love a bit of spice in a Grand Tour like that. And yeah, I mean, only in a sport like cycling could we have a debate where we say, did the strongest actually win? Because like the sport is just like entangled in so many unwritten rules and sort of like sportsman handshakes and so forth. I think to the outside viewer, to someone who doesn't really know cycling, it doesn't really make sense why Sepp Kuss won. But it is a very nice narrative, given that he's given so much twice this year already in the other two Grand Tours, and also throughout, well, since 2019, really, on behalf of Roglic and Vingegaard, respectively. So totally understand people's anger, but it's a hard debate to really have. It feels almost like we've been in like an echo chamber, because everybody wants Sepp Kuss to win, or wanted Sepp Kuss to win in the past days now that he's won.
Not in the comments. There's a lot of people who are saying that this is gifting. A lot of people are angry with the gifting nature of this, but you're still there. Like,
that's understandable though,
because so much in cycling.
Like, but gifting, it's
your teammate.
It's not Christmas.
But it's your teammate, the guy who has helped you win. How many Vueltas? Does Roglic have amnesia? Did he not remember stage 16 of the Giro d'Italia, where he would have been spat completely if it wasn't for Sepp Kuss?
Yeah, literally. Roglic wouldn't have won that Giro if it wasn't for Sepp, I don't think, considering the small margin of victory to G. Yeah, but the whole gifting thing, it's kind of like, but in cycling, gifting happens like all the time. Well, not all the time, but you know,
not when Roglic is involved.
Like, well, I don't know. Like, think back to Paris last year when they gifted the win to Laporte, or when Laporte got gifted the victory by Wout van Aert against Velgen this year. It's not an unprecedented new thing where Sepp was gifted it, and that's like some new, you know, thing which should be banished. You know, it's happened for years, this gifting thing. It doesn't matter if somebody's the strongest. There's been lots of Grand Tours where the strongest hasn't won. Think back when Froome was stronger than Brad at the Tour. You know, Froome should have, because he was stronger, won. But no, they went with Brad because he was in the lead. And yeah, even if Sepp wasn't the strongest, you got to back your man who's leading. I guess they were in the unprecedented scenario where they literally had second and third, and they could kind of just play with their food at that point and just try and make things as interesting as possible, or just, I don't know, what were they trying to do? They could have released some documentary with just full on, just the full spice going on with it. I do agree with what Ewan said, you know. It is spicy, and we do enjoy a little bit of spice, especially in cycling. Sometimes it can be a little bit bland, so it was actually quite interesting to have such gossip and juice going around.
I love the idea of them releasing a film, because their documentary for the 2021 Tour de France is called Plan B. If they were to release a film, what letter of the alphabet would this plan be? Was it ever the plan to have Sepp Kuss in the red jersey by the end of week one and be second, third in the podium? Was it that must be plan Y, X, Y, Z squared for Jumbo Visma.
But anyways, every time a rider wins a Grand Tour, and it isn't the Tour de France, there is the natural question, can they win the Tour de France? Sepp Kuss has been to the Tour numerous times this year as well. Oh, is he going to be a one-hit wonder? That's what we're thinking. And he's going to go back to his super domestique role, or could he potentially have a dig at the Tour? And I mean, that leaves the question open as well. Who's going to lead the Tour next year for Jumbo Visma? Obviously, Jonas Vingegaard, the two-time champion. But yeah, has this added anything to this? Could we potentially see double leaders of Roglic and Vingegaard? They kind of, Patrick, you were filling us in with something in the recap.
Yeah, I don't know about Sepp, to be honest with you. I feel like Sepp did well this time round, because I think probably for one of the last times, honestly, was allowed into the breakaway to get the victory and therefore gain time there. And I don't think he's going to be given that leash maybe ever again in a Grand Tour, unless it's a really difficult stage. Sepp getting those minutes in the first week, and then once Martinez was dropped, Sepp was in the lead. That was the way which he got it. I don't think he was going to get it by hanging out with the GC boys and beating them on the line, because otherwise he would have just been a domestique. So I don't think it's going to happen at the Tour, to be honest with you, with Sepp. I hate to be the negative Nancy person on this opinion, but I just, now people have seen what, you know, if you allow Sepp in the break, this can always happen. And I think especially if you're somebody like UAE with Pogacar, I just don't think you're going to be allowing Sepp into the break. I see that being the only way that Sepp wins is if he gets into a break. But if people are actually alive to the threat now, I just don't see Sepp winning a Grand Tour, even though he did show that his TTing was actually not too bad in that flat TT on stage 10. You know, that was actually a very good performance on a TT. But yeah, I just don't see how he will. Maybe he gets put in as a co-leader with Sepp or whatever, but I don't know, the whole Roglic thing as well, rumours of him going to Trek and the uncertainty of that's just like a whole other can of worms to be opened up.
If you're a negative Nancy, I'm a negative Nicholas, because I don't think Sepp Kuss will win the Tour de France. It's just like the circumstances of this Vuelta win are so exceptional that I just don't think it's going to happen again, you know? Him going in the breakaway, gaining those minutes to begin with, and then also happening to be on the strongest team who also have second and third on the podium. Realistically, is that ever going to happen again? I just don't think so. And Kuss has never podiumed the Grand Tour otherwise. He's been a super domestique. And once we go to next year's Tour de France, with all the expectations of Remco Evenepoel and with Pogacar joining up at the start line of next year's Tour de France, we believe, I just don't think there's going to be a sort of Movistar style formation for Jumbo Visma where they can pick Kuss, Vingegaard, and Roglic. I think we saw in this Vuelta, it worked, but it was very chaotic.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I mean, to provide just a little bit of a, devil's advocate for the other side.
Devil? Sepp Kuss being the devil side.
Yeah, what if, Jonas gets sent because he's Jonas, two-time champion, he has to go, barring anything. Say Roglic goes to Trek, hypothetically, for this whatever reason that rumours going around. Sepp and Jonas end up going to the Tour, they end up as co-leaders. Pogacar somehow has a bad year, similar to this year. Maybe prep isn't quite good enough, has a bad day, as he's sometimes prone to doing. Jonas crashes, Sepp's in the lead. Exceptional circumstances again. But I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that unrealistic. But that's just that's the way which, if he was to win, that's how I think he would go in.
Also, the fact Ineos were nowhere because of, Arensman crashing, De Plus crashing, Geraint Thomas crashing. It was just,
I don't see Ineos being competitive next year.
Remco gone as well. He was out of the equation.
Unless UAE, if they bring a Yuzo to the Tour next year as an interest, maybe they decide to do a bit of a two-pronged thing. They've been very much around Pogacar the last few years of the Tour. Maybe they decide to get in a little bit with this dual leadership game, even if it is just a bit. Well, I don't know. I'll say that Adam Yates did a very good job of that this year. I always, forget about him, but somebody, like the 2 or 3 leader thing like Jumbo had to try and counter this growing threat that Jumbo have with their numerical superiority inside the top 10. Anything could happen with dual leaders next year. Who knows? It'd be interesting to see what happens with Sepp, because obviously he crashed out. Well, didn't crash out, but he crashed in the Tour, and he dropped a little bit out of GC because of that. But yeah, I'm interested to see what he could do as a GC threat. Whether Jumbo treat him as a GC rider now rather than a super domestique, I don't know. Maybe they see new potential with him. In
a way, that's a bit like Theo Gegenhardt from his position at the Giro a couple of years back when he won the Giro. Similar with Jai Hindley as well, where they did particularly well in the COVID Giro, and then that sort of built faith within the team and within the peloton. Theo Gegenhardt's never really going to be sort of second guessed ever again after that Giro win. Maybe Sepp Kuss is going to be in the same position. Gegenhardt's a little bit different because he wasn't necessarily a super domestique, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens to Sepp Kuss in the years to come. The whole GC Kuss thing, back in 2021, we had plenty of debates about what could Sepp Kuss do in those little week-long GC races, and it seemed like he wasn't really fitting into the role of a leader. But this Vuelta, it's worked. Maybe builds confidence and goes for it next year, or we return to a Kuss who isn't quite so comfortable in that leadership role, particularly in those 1 week long stage races that build up to the Grand Tour setting, and Jumbo Visma back one of the other horses instead.
Well, before we go to Ride of the Vuelta, it's its own section this week, and then we'll do Ride of the Week. Right, so we're going to react to our predictions of the 2023 Vuelta Espana, and this is going to be brutal, but yeah, here we go.
I'm not sure whether to go once again different, just to kind of give myself yet another option to go with. But
only this one counts on the echelon.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'll stick with what I said in the preview. I'm going to go with. I think that it will. Oh, what did I say? I said that Evenepoel was going to finish third, Ayuso is going to finish second, and Jonas is going to win.
Well then.
I think I saw somebody said he was like 200 to 1 in odds. So if somebody put like a £1 bet on that, like fair.
And then caveat, Roglic finishes fourth.
Very close.
But to be fair, that was
If people are wondering, before the Roglic supporters go, where is he? Start demanding my head on a spike.
As they should. Jonas wins, Roglic second, and third goes to someone. Evenepoel, Almeida, Ayuso. Thing is, I back Sasha so much, and I've got so little in return. Let's go for Almeida.
Ooh.
Wait, instead of Ayuso, that might. The thing is, Ayuso.
It's weird how that was
good.
Completely irrelevant.
He is good.
He is pretty good. He is quite fast.
I'll go for Almeida. No. He was crap at the Worlds. Ayuso finishes third.
Okay, I'm going to say Ayuso wins, Remco in third, and Roglic in second. Oh, no, who's third?
Sorry. I correctly... So I said Jonas wins, Roglic second, Ayuso third. That was the second, third, and fourth. If it wasn't for Kuss, that would have been correct.
Yeah, that's true. But that's not how this game works.
Yeah.
Who was saying Sepp Kuss?
You were correct, but like everything was shifted.
Yeah, Kuss destroyed your podium. You need to send angry hate to Kuss. He destroyed your game. Who's going to win the most stages? Oh, wait, was it Remco in the end or not? It must have been. 3 stage wins?
Was it Groves or Remco? Or did they get an equal amount?
Got 3 as well.
Oh, did you get 3? Oh, I thought you only got 2. Okay, fair enough. So that's quite a good one, actually.
Do you mean like team or like individual rider?
Individual.
Ooh. Well, it's not going to be a sprinter because there's about 1.5 sprints going in the whole race or something like that. Oh, that's a hard one.
I mean, Roglic, if he's on form, he could be picking off some of those hockey stick stages, as you call them, Patrick.
Yeah, but then you can get just some like cracked breakaway guy like a Jay Vine from years gone by who could just go and pick up like 3 breakaway victories, just like going in as...
Carapaz did that last year.
Yeah,
last year?
Like I'm over what you mean.
Yeah, last year you got 3 stages and the polka dots.
I don't want to say Jonas. It seems so boring. I'll go with Ayuso. Ayuso's winning the most stages.
How many? 7?
3.
12? Breaking the Freddie Martin's record, 13.
My word. I'll say a safe 3.
I'm going for Roglic. He's so good on uphill sprints. He can Roglify those profiles.
Oh, Evenepoel, did he win it? Do the most stages? He really took
8. His sprints really improved recently.
Just not against wild pools.
As he beat Bilbao in San Sebastian, and Bilbao's no slouch in a sprint. We've seen him do really well in Basque sprints before, and Tour of the Alps sprints. Could be even more. He gets the TT as a de facto as well.
Roglic, Olympic champion, Primoz Roglic.
Oh, Roglic is finishing 5th in that TT.
Didn't help him at the Giro.
Evenepoel's winning. Evenepoel's definitely winning the
legit.
I'm sorry.
With his aero skin or whatever freaking rubbish that is. Have you guys seen that?
We all think he's going to win the time trial.
Yeah, that's a cold take. That's an ice cold polar Arctic race in Norway take.
Yeah.
That's a Stephen Williams shaking in the post race interview take.
Yeah, literally. I mean, I'll repeat my hot takes from the preview. I think that Romain Gregoire is winning stage 2. The puncher.
Why? This is like UN specific. Why the specific? Why not just say he's going to win a stage? Can we just say we didn't say Ghana, any of us, for the time trial?
That's because I literally thought Ghana was washed. Legit. I was just like, this guy's not doing anything in this Vuelta. And then he went and won the TT and finished second in every sprint.
Ewan's not going to defend his position of saying it was a super ice cold take.
I mean, it was a pretty cold take at the time. I also must say, can we just take a moment to appreciate how good that time trial was from the cyborg from Viborg, Alexander Vlasov. Anyway, roll the clip.
Danish stage winner.
Vingegaard, yeah.
Or Andreas Korten.
That's not happening. We've been trying to manifest this for years. We have been manifesting, and we have got so little.
Yeah.
Not every.
Stop,
yeah.
Vinny, stop. You can skip that part. Edit, can't snap.
Never gonna happen. Okay. That's so mean.
To be fair, can I please wiggle my way into proving a point? He won a stage that was neutralized, so none of the GC guys raced the final 5 kilometers because it was too rainy. Does that still count?
Count on his Palmares.
Yeah,
I'll let the comments decide.
Ewan, where do you think that Brooks is going to finish?
Oh yeah,
on his Grand Tour debut?
He's finishing in the Outerbrook zone, 8th in GC.
That's exactly what I know. That's what Scott said. I said he's going to finish 6th, actually.
Where did he finish?
Didn't he finish 8th?
Or was it
Because he lost.
Yeah, he lost to Vlasov.
He lost time on that stage 20 to Vlasov. I think he finished in 8th. So I think Ewan absolutely nailed it. I think I honestly thought his 6th place was pretty. I thought that was on. Once I saw him on the Tourmalet and the Angliru, I was like, man, this guy is gonna do it. And then I don't know, something bad happened, and somehow he lost and went down to 8th. So I do think that Ewan nailed that one. So that's pretty good.
A chow. Man, this crystal ball for the Vuelta GC, it's far from dusty.
But
So
so
the Outerbrook zone.
are you just basically winning the white jersey then?
No, no.
Yeah.
I thought that happened. Thank you.
I mean, yeah, you did kind of get that right, to be fair.
Well, I did.
Yeah.
Who won the white jersey?
She doesn't finish. This is my way.
Oh no!
Wow, that's mean. I thought you were a Vlasov fan.
Literally said he wasn't gonna finish.
Didn't you?
Ewan's fully lost any faith.
What happened to that crystal GC ball? Didn't have Vlasov.
No, but remember when he finished 5th in that TT? It was such a good result.
Enric Mas.
Is he going?
I think he is.
The Enric Mas zone is just exclusively 2nd place in GC.
Yeah, but he's not getting second, is he? Like, he's recovering from that Tour de France injury. And as Patrick said, he didn't go to the Vuelta a Burgos.
Yeah, but
He's DNF.
he's Enric Mas, though.
DNF stage 9.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah. Landissimo happened as well. We didn't really see that coming.
That's because you can never expect a Landissimo. That's what makes it so special.
Who else do we have on their team who could be fully unleashed? He's going to unleash Jose Joaquin Rojas to do something.
Did that happen? No.
No, it didn't happen.
Lascano. Yeah, what happened there?
Was very underwhelming in this race also.
Lenny Martinez.
No, be real.
Oh, do you think Egan Bernal is going to get a stage win?
No.
Why not?
But I'd like him to.
Yeah, I would like it. Yeah, that didn't happen. That counts as a true prediction.
I mean, that's very true, but you could have also said, do you think Robert Hassink is going to win a stage?
Do you think Jeffrey Soup is going to win a stage?
Oh, honestly, that would have imagined.
That was incredible.
So rogue.
Yeah, I'd like it. I'd like €1 million in my bank account.
Yeah.
You could have had that if you put money on Sepp Kuss winning the Vuelta.
It doesn't mean it's happening, you know. I'd like Sasha Vlasov to win the Tour de France.
Yeah.
Is it going to happen? I don't think so.
But Bernal, behind Vandenberg, he's winning a sprint easily.
Remco Evenepoel, Primoz Roglic.
Sprint engaged.
Hot take here. Simon Carr wins the stage.
Ooh. That's a shame because he didn't come. There was also a surprisingly little amount of breakaway victories in comparison to other Vueltas, which is just like a little side note. I think it would have been quite hard for Carr to win actually in retrospect if I knew what I did now.
But guys, you just said, who wins the Angliru stage? That's a good one. I'm saying Jonas Vingegaard.
Oh, that's so beige.
I'd agree.
He would have won it if he didn't sit on Roglic's wheel.
Yeah, that is true. but he was really afraid of getting like punished. Roglic was on one.
It's a cold take.
No, I'm gonna go with something different. I'm gonna give the people what they really want. We all know that
Roma Bade.
I've mentioned Roman Bardet winning up there. Nah, it's going
Bardet
to be...
is stage hunting in this Vuelta Espana. You're not going for GC. We'll see.
I mean, your dig here, yeah, he didn't get one.
Totally valid.
He was close though. Remco was just in the way on that one stage.
Yeah.
Nah, Lenny Martinez wins a Kangaroo.
Imagine.
Exactly.
Okay, no, for real, Eddie Dunbar.
Parallels.
Eddie
Ooh.
Dunbar. Hello, Edward. My man from County Cork.
Didn't he crash out on stage 4 or 2 or something?
Yeah, no, he crashed out really early on. He crashed in the opening time trial and it was all downhill from there.
How many stages did Jumbo win?
4.
How many did they win? Roglic 2, Sepp Kuss, Jonas 2, 5 or more? 5. Okay.
Ah, that was close.
2.
5.
Yeah,
Oh!
Oh, bang around. There we go.
Like, okay. Wait. No. Yeah. Did you not hear what you just said, Ewan? That's a lock. Them winning the team time trial.
Can I just remind everybody that team time trial was at 1 a.m. There was no light on the course.
During a monsoon.
It was raining really bad.
Yeah.
It would have been 6 otherwise.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
You do make a valid point. It was an awful team time trial.
It's probably the worst ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, DSM.
Well, I mean, that was yeah, there was a few truffles in there. Some few good ones.
We're going to need to get better for, next time we do these. I think I'm really going to need to like start making some sensible calls, unlike some of the ones which I said there, because they were so far from the truth. It was a bit painful.
The specifics, that was, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I think that might be our most accurate one that we've done this year. Like, there were a lot of good ones, and like we hit the nail on the head on a lot of them.
White jersey,
Ita Brooks,
yeah, true.
got that. The Jumbo Visma stages, even if that didn't include the TTT.
My podium was kind of spot on.
It was wrong, is what it was.
Yeah, it was wrong.
It was so close.
That's like saying you won the lottery by having the wrong numbers 1 digit out.
It kind of is.
You should get like half the money for that.
I'm not sure that's how they work. But anyway, I mean, predictions aside, good to laugh at ourselves. But going back to the Vuelta Espana, we're still on the Vuelta. Who has been your rider of the Vuelta? Who are you going to say is the rider of the Vuelta? And then we'll get on to how we're going to stop Jumbo Visma as well after this.
This kind of feels like recency bias, but I'm just going to jump straight in there with Wout Poels as a guy to start us off with. Stage winner, even if that did involve Remco flicking on his Garmin in the sprint finale. But he was also super impressive in that final week for trying to set up Landissimo. I think he also finished quite high up on that Angliru stage. And I was like, you know what? Wout Poels was having a proper resurgence. It was like seeing him back at Sky with Froome. So, yeah, Wout Poels for winning a stage at the Vuelta and being the climbing domestique that Sepp Kuss wasn't allowed to be in this race.
I'm not humoring Jumbo Visma. Mikel Landa, hello. 5th place in GC. He historically has not been good at the Vuelta. So him to get this result, and he pretty much did what Kuss did in terms of going in the breakaway and then holding that all the way to the end. Respect on Mikel Landa's name. It's the best Mikel Landa we've seen in a while.
I mean, if I was to pick a non-Jumbo Visma rider, the comments are going to go crazy because they already think we're an anti... Well, I'm not, but you guys get it.
I am.
Well, there we go then. I'm going to say the most exciting rider has been none other than Remco Evenepoel. I think he's really lit the stages up. Arguably, I think, Patrick, you said at one point, Remco not being a GC rider has saved the Vuelta to some respect, and then
Yeah.
sprinkle in some of that Jumbo Visma drama. But like, even on this final stage, he was up there mixing it, trying to win the stage. Just a shame that Groves was on his wheel. Won the Manchester jersey by like a landslide. Even on the Anglo, he's the first rider on the Anglo, and just really sticking it to everyone. So, but I mean, we
Yeah.
have to say the Jumbo Visma riders as well. But you can't like Jonas Vingegaard winning how many
Yeah.
stages? 2 stages, and then working for Sepp Kuss after
Yeah.
the public went crazy.
Roglic got 2 wins, is that right?
Yeah,
But I mean, just going quickly back to Evenepoel, imagine if he didn't choke the sprint against Rui Costa and Wout Poels, he would have got 5 stage wins. If he won the TT against Ghana, that would have been 6. Like, just think of like the second places that Evenepoel got in this race and how extraordinary it could have been if he did win them. He did have a really good Vuelta, I agree.
And also, he wasn't that far off winning the green jersey. 80 points, but still, like, that's a really good amount of points for a GC rider.
I mean, yeah, if you convert those second places, like you said, that green jersey maybe would have been taken. We're not going to humor Sepp Kuss being the rider of the Vuelta? No one?
I can do, but I've already kind of stated mine. Don't get, the reason why I haven't stated a Jumbo Visma rider is just because I just didn't like their dominance. That's my first thing. I've just got an agenda, and also it's just like low hanging fruit. You know, I don't know. Even though they are the rider of a Vuelta, don't get me wrong. It's too easy. We're not here for the easy stuff. We're trying to be a little bit inventive. This is what we tried to do with like Rider a Week and stuff. You know.
Coming
Try
up
and go for different peeps. Yeah, Sepp Kuss literally winning the Vuelta was better than Roglic or Jonas winning it, in my opinion, because it was just somebody different. So yeah, fair play, Sepp. You are the Jumbo rider of the Vuelta.
Juan Ayuso, do you think he was better this year than he was last year? He said he had a bit of a cough.
I do think he was better this year than last year, but I think just the Jumbo Visma were just way too strong. Like, I think his actual level was higher this year. Like, I think he was the best of the rest.
But nevertheless, we might as well take a step away for a bit from the Vuelta Espana. It's been a bit too much Vuelta. We have had Tadej Pogačar back in racing and Mathieu van der Poel, who took a victory. The Italian one-day races going on, and yeah, these Belgian one-day races as well. How have you felt about these kind of races? And I mean, Patrick, you were saying that you always have like this one rider who just peaks up in this autumn season, and it seems like Pavel Sivakov is your rider elect.
Pavel Sivakov is doing what Lutsenko usually does at this time of year, which is just like dominating these Italian races. Because I don't know, I just love it. I love that Sivakov was left out of the Vuelta, and now he's just like, honestly, this guy could podium Il Lombardia. I'm already kind of like jumping the gun a bit, but when you start showing the kind of legs right now, it's just like a sign that come Il Lombardia, I honestly think that Sivakov will be Ineos's guy. And then, yeah, Van der Poel, I didn't see that coming because it's the Super 8, which used to be the Primus, whatever classic. I was confused by that when I first saw it. I thought, what is this race? I didn't think Van der Poel was going to win, to be honest. I thought that he was sort of just here, just as like a token guy parading around in the World Champs jersey. I thought it was going to be for Søren Krauw. I also thought of the Grand Prix de Wallonie, they were going to go for Axel Laurence. But I'm actually quite surprised, and in a good way, that Van der Poel's deciding to be competitive in these races. It's a shame almost that it's been overshadowed by the Vuelta, kind of Van der Poel's good results. But yeah, cool to see him doing his stuff. I'm not sure whether he'll go to any of the Italian races, whether he'll just do like the Belgian stuff and, you know, get ready for cyclocross, I guess. That'll be the logical thing to do, because I don't think he's doing Euros. So, yeah, some interesting little speckles of other races going on.
He really should do the Euros because it's on that Col de Vam, which is the climb he took the Dutch nationals in 2020. So it'll be cool to see him return there, and he'll be the home rider as well because it's being held in the Netherlands. How are we forgetting Swiss superstar, Swiss national champion Mark Hirschi? He's back, baby, doing what he does best, which is winning second-tier Italian classics.
Is this UAE trying to keep their UCI points haul alive? obviously Jumbo took a landslide at the Vuelta, whether UAE are sensing that their one-day racing is perhaps their last sort of chance to really do this, because this is kind of, Jumbo have, in my opinion, have sort of like, that's like it for Jumbo. Like I feel like they will get some one-day results and stuff, but I think that UAE will be more dominant in these races, so maybe the tide can still shift in that UCI points battle. Not that anybody really cares other than these two teams, but an interesting subplot to keep your finger on over the next month or so if you are desperate.
I would say upper tier cycling nerds as well care about it.
Yes.
They're not just
cycling nerd.
Upper tier.
Upper tier.
Who won the team classification in 2018?
Exactly, nobody cares.
But there was the PowerPoint of like Jumbo Visma's team targets leaked. Not leaked, it was just like tweeted online. And it said to win the Tour, the Giro, the Vuelta, to win either Flanders or Roubaix, which they didn't do, and to win the Vuelta ranking, the UCI ranking this year. So they're actually targeting it. And like that was one of their goals at the beginning of the season. Also, we haven't mentioned it. Jumbo Visma's final stage kit was pretty cool with all the different Grand Tour colors on it. That was pretty nifty.
And wasn't this like against the rules at one point that you weren't allowed to change the kit at the end? I remember, was it Radio Shack had problems with it?
I think you're right.
Capitalism wins. Money speaks.
I think Jumbo Visma and any rider in the race of the Vuelta should now be stripped of wherever they were finished in the Vuelta, and we should have a complete re-ranking because of this.
Ayuso wins! Yay!
Yeah, this catastrophic breaking of the rules. Now Ayuso is going to win, and if Landa and Mas and Spain goes wild.
I'm sure that would be, that Spanish podium, right?
Yeah, legit. That'd be so cool. I mean, side note, I mean, special kits for like Grand Tour winners, I don't like it. It feels presumptuous and a little bit big-headed, and therefore I am wholeheartedly against them. And therefore, however cool the kit is, it goes against all my principles, and therefore I don't like it.
Now we're going through these races. There's one podcast favorite that actually won a stage, the memorable Marco Pantani race. And it was none other than Atleti Lutsenko who took the sprint against Mark Hirschi and Pavel Sivakov. Second time. He did in 2019 as well.
He is the next coming of Marco Pantani. That's why he loves this race.
I wish he's not. I think he time trials better than Marco Pantani. He's won 2 Tour of Oman. Pantani never did that, and he's been Kazakh national champion. Pantani never did that either. So
has Marco Pantani ever been to Oman? I want to know this.
Have you ever been to Kazakhstan? I doubt it.
That feels more likely though, because Kazakhstan has this like weird history with cycling.
But how recent is that? It's not like 90s, I think, is it?
Maybe he went on holiday to the city of Astana. Maybe he brought cycling to Kazakhstan.
Maybe he inspired the young Vinokurov in high school, and then this guy came in, cycle, and then he cycled.
Marco Pantani might have taught Alexander Vinokurov Italian. Many people are saying this.
But adding that to our list of conspiracy theories of this podcast. Ride of the week, we might as well do that. And who has been your rider of the week? Is Sepp Kuss going to have his 3rd rider of the week in a row from this podcast?
It won't be from me.
Spoilers. Who thought that anyway?
Rider of the week. I don't know. I'll try to keep it away from my rider of the Vuelta as well. You know what? I'll go with Alberto Dainese for finally doing something in this race and winning a stage. That's not even harsh. Like, this guy has been nowhere. He literally just sat up in the final sprint. I saw him just freewheeling across the line. I would have gone with Wout Poels, but maybe I'd jump the gun with my rider of the Vuelta. But you know what? I'll go with Dainese because he won the sprint once all of Grove's lead-up men were taken out of the equation. So fair play. Well done.
Even the Poel. Ooh, boring. Tomatoes. But, I mean, come on. Next.
I kind of want to see Pavel Sivakov. We're getting a 1, 2, 3 in different races.
Yes.
I kind of want to, but I shouldn't. You should have been picking him, Ewan, not me. Like, these are
We're
one of your
forcing your
boys.
hand.
Low hanging fruit.
Yeah, but I also kind of want to go for Letu Lutsenko or Mathieu Van der Poel for breaking the curse of the rainbow jersey, or Sepp Kuss for winning the Vuelta a España. So I'll go for Sepp Kuss because I think we could continue that streak.
Okay. The only rider to have received 3 riders of the
Three
week
in a row.
in a row.
He acknowledges that somehow. I don't know how.
That may never happen again.
Yeah, probably not. Well, are we going to see an American win a Grand Tour ever again?
I don't know, I'm trying to think of the next one in the pipeline. I can't really think of one.
Sheffield?
When I use all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? I don't know if he's spent enough years to get a passport and a citizenship, but I'm manifesting this.
He honestly could. That is the strategy. Here you are. If you are a pro rider listening to this podcast, here is a top tip for you. If you're not good enough to get into your national team, go and live in some Caribbean nation for 5 years, get a passport there, get on the national team, get yourself a national champs jersey, and then you'll get signed to EF because they want cool jerseys on the team. There you go. That is my top tip for you. Put that in the bank.
All I'm saying is that cycling is in need of a rider from the Seychelles. We need the Seychelles national champions jersey in the peloton. The president of Seychelles, if you're watching, hello, I hope you're having a great day. But cycling is a great way to invest your national budget.
Anyways, with that, that's it for this 34th episode of the Echelon Cycling Podcast. Make sure to check out our YouTube channel, our podcast as well over on Spotify, Amazon, etc. And hit the like button, get involved in the conversation down below in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching, and we will see you next week.